Hello everyone, welcome to Oliveboard. So, this is the 11th lecture of our retail banking and wealth management revision series in which we are revising all the units module wise from our RBWM syllabus. So, today we'll be covering the unit 11 of our module B, which is remittance products. So, when we talk about the remittance products, traditionally we had the bank checks, we had the demand draft, but with the increase of technology, computerization, now we have the electronic payment systems. These electronic payment systems we can divide it into two criterias. The centralized payment systems like the RTGS, NEFT, NECS, which are eligible to the licensed banks, and the decentralized payment system, which include the clearing houses at the MICR centers like the check truncation system, the electronic clearing services, which are again open to all the eligible licensed banks. So, in this unit, we'll be discussing the features of NEFT and RTGS. Also, we'll be covering the ECS, NACH, and the bill payment system. All right. So, let us start first by NEFT, the National Electronic Fund Transfer, which was basically established to establish an electronic fund transfer system for an efficient, economical, reliable system of fund transfer throughout India. So it is a nationwide payment system facilitating one-to-one transfer, and it operates on a deferred net basis, deferred net settlement. This means that the transactions are made in batches. So it is not real time. Rather, all the transactions they are clubbed into the next batch that is available, and then the transactions are completed. To be a part of the NEFT transfer, a bank has to be NEFT enabled. Individuals, firms, corporates which are maintaining accounts with the bank branch, they can transfer the funds. Even the individuals who do not have a bank account, they are the walk-in customers, they can also deposit cash at the NEFT enabled branches with giving instructions. However, there is a limitation, maximum of less than 50,000 rupees per transaction is allowed for the walk-in customers. So obviously, they will provide the necessary details like their contract number, their address, that they can be approached if the transaction is not complete, right? We also have the Indo-Nepal remittance facility scheme. Again, it is a one-way cross-border transfer scheme, right? Now, if we talk about the structure of charges, which can be levied, banks, if they want, they can levy less than this also. This is the maximum. For the inward transaction at the destination bank branches, where the credit is made to the beneficiary account. What are inward transaction? Basically, where money is coming into the bank account of the bank branch from the external source. So, receiving money from other banks domestically or internationally, receiving funds from other sources like a company or individual, the money is coming inside. So, for the inward transaction, there are no charges, it is free. Outward transactions at the originating bank branch, for transactions up to 10,000 rupees, 2.50 rupees, above 10,000 to 1 lakh not exceeding 5 rupees, 1 lakh to 2 lakh not exceeding 15, above 2 lakhs not exceeding 25 rupees. Now this is the maximum that can be charged. Banks, they can charge a lower fees or lower charges on the customers as well. However, with effect from 2020, RBI has removed all applicable charges on the NEFT transactions which are initiated online using internet or using mobile banking portals by the saving account holders, right? Then we discussed that NEFT transactions are carried out in batches on the deferred net settlement. So there are timings which were fixed. There are 48 half hourly batches every day. Earlier, the NEFT transactions could be processed between 8 hours, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., Monday to Friday. Now it is available 24/7, 365 days. All right. So in the next batch, your transaction will be included and then the payment will be completed. Right. These are the points which are important. The process flow, there are 5 parties to the NEFT system: sending bank, sending receiving center, NEFT clearing center, receiving bank service center, and the beneficiary bank. Advantages and disadvantages of NEFT we already know, right? So there's no physical check or demand draft necessary. No need to physically visit the branch. It is cost effective, time convenient, even it is financially more convenient. All right. Next, we have the real time gross settlement, RTGS. Now, in the NEFT, the settlements were completed in batches. In RTGS, one to one, order by order basis without any netting, instant settlement of funds is done. So, processing of the instructions at the time they are received. Here, the payments are final and irrevocable. Again, RTGS, it has drastically changed the complexion of the remittance scenario in the financial services. Implementation of the core banking solution. The banks have enabled the straight through processing of the RTGS transaction. So, how does the process flow of the RTGS works? Basically, we can say that there are the procedure for the remittance. Transactions that can be carried out by RTGS are the interbank transactions, customer payment transactions, and the delivery versus payment transactions. Interbank, movement of funds between different banks, between two or more banks. Customer payment transactions, payments which are made by the customer to the businesses. Delivery versus payment means it will basically ensure that the securities are only exchanged when the corresponding payment is made. So these are the 3 types of settlements that are done through RTGS. Security means delivery of stocks or bonds. This occurs only when the corresponding payment is made by the buyer. All right. So these are the 3 types of transactions. If we talk about the charges, if we talk about the process flow, so there were earlier cutoff times of the RTGS, maximum service charges, time varying tariff. But again, RTGS is also made available 24/7, 365 days now. All the processing charges levied by the RBI for RTGS transactions have been waived off. Banks, they can pass on this benefit to the customers by lowering the fee. If we talk about the fee for inward transaction, again it is free. For outward transaction, the fees is there from 2 lakh to 5 lakh, not exceeding 24.50 rupees. Above 5 lakhs, not exceeding 49.50. Again, banks can decide to charge a lower rate, but they cannot charge more than what has been prescribed by RBI. So here I think we can make a distinction between RTGS and NEFT. The basic difference is that RTGS is based on gross settlement, NEFT is based on net settlement. Gross settlement, one-to-one basis without bunching with other transactions. Deferred net basis or net settlement, wherein batches are specific times the transactions are completed. There's a minimum transaction in RTGS. Basically, only funds above 2 lakhs can be transferred. In NEFT, there's no minimum or maximum that is stipulated. All right, so to transfer large sums of money in real time, RTGS is better. But for small amounts where there is no urgency, NEFT is a better option. All right, so these two are the centralized. Then we have the electronic clearing services. This is also an electronic mode of payment for the transactions which are repetitive and periodic in nature. For example, we receive our salary every month. We make premium payment for insurance or pension. We receive interest on the various investments. What are these? These are periodic and repetitive. Every time, if the individual or the entity that is making the payment or that is receiving the payment, they have to give instructions every month, every quarter. So this will be what? This will be a tiresome job. To avoid that, to give it more automation, ECS is used by institutions for making bulk payment of amounts towards, for example, the distribution of dividend, interest, salary, pension, or for bulk collection. Let's say when they're collecting bills for telephone, electricity, water dues, tax collection, loan installment, investments in mutual funds, etc. All right. So for the repetitive payments, ECS is used. It is processed under the NACH, which is operated by NPCI. Now there are two variants of ECS. We have the ECS credit, where the institution who is making a repetitive payment to the credit of a large number of beneficiaries like employees, interest to the investors, pension to the pensioners in their bank account. So salary, dividend, interest, pension, these payments are initiated by the ECS credit user. They have to register itself with the clearing center. The payments will be made through the ECS user only through their bank account. The bank account from where the transfer is to be made is known as the sponsor bank, and to the bank account where the transfer is to reach is known as the beneficiary account or the destination account holder. Now the beneficiaries will also give the details of the name of their name, their bank branch account number, MICR code, etc., the date on which the credit is to be afforded, what is the amount of the credit to be afforded, and it is completed. Even NRE and RO accounts in the country are allowed. ECS debit, on the other hand, for raising debits to a large number of accounts. Basically, for the payment of telephone, electricity, water bill, cess or tax collection, loan installment, again which are periodic. The ECS debit user will also submit the details of the customers, the bank account, their name, the date on which the customer's account is to be debited. We also need to take the consent of the customer that they are making this debit every month. All right. So this is how the ECS works, the electronic clearing services. Also, there are three categories of ECS based on the geographical location of the branches that are covered. So the branches which are covered in the local ECS are operating at 81 centers. At each of these ECS centers, the branch coverage is restricted to the geographical coverage of the clearinghouse. One city or one or more satellite towns that are adjoining the city, and these can be operated by RBI or by the designated bank. So the limited number of branches are attached to the local ECS center. Then we have the regional ECS, more than the geographical coverage that was there in the local. It is operating at 9 centers, and we are covering the core banking enabled branches in a state or a group of state, right? And again, these are operated by RBI. Local ECS is operated either by RBI or even by the designated banks. Regional only by RBI, and national ECS is the centralized version. There's only one center operated at Mumbai. All the core banking enabled branches located anywhere in the country, and it is also operated by RBI. All right, so the account holder or the customer is entitled to give the consent. Similarly, they can also withdraw the mandate or the debit instruction from giving a notice to the banker without the involvement of the user institution, right? So this will be equivalent to a stop paper. So what are the advantages? There's no need to issue any check, Payment defaults will not happen if there is sufficient balance in the account. No follow-up is needed by the beneficiary. It is hassle-free, it is flexible because the mandate can be changed, it can be revoked, it can be changed in the case of debit to another account or a debit of higher amount, etc. These are the advantages. However, the biggest disadvantage of the ECS was the categories, the local, regional, and national. So the customer, the users, they had to identify under which category they will have to enroll. This issue has been now solved by establishing the National Automated Clearing House, which has taken place of the ECS on 1st of May 2016. So the geographical differentiation, local, regional, national, has been removed. NACH has been implemented by NPCI for all the banks, financial institutions, corporate, government, basically for making bulk repetitive payment in a centralized way. So consolidating the multiple ECS system that were running across the country for the harmonization, for the standardization, all the practices, uniform practices, removing the local barriers, right? Other things will be same. The user will have to register themselves, give the details of the beneficiary, just the local or regional geographical boundaries have been removed. NACH also allows the refined mandate management system. There's also the online dispute management system, which was not there in the ECS. NACH Aadhaar payment bridge system. If the government wants to pay any subsidiary to the large number of beneficiaries, they are using the APBS system. It is successful. So what are the benefits? Again, no need for a manual process, easier and faster than ECS, no need to keep track of the due dates. Benefit of organization, no dependence on checks or clearance. Payments of scholarship, allowances, subsidies, they take less time. Benefits to the bank, faster payment processing, registration, payment in a hassle-free manner. No manual processes are there, so fewer errors. If we compare ECS and NACH, NACH is much faster, same day presentation, settlement and returns processing. So the entire process spreads over 3 to 4 days in the ECS, but in the NACH, it happens on the same day. It has a well-defined dispute management system also, mandate management, unique mandate reference number has been introduced, right? So it is definitely better than the ECS. Then we have the Aadhaar enabled payment system. It is what? It is an online interoperable financial transaction at the point of sale or micro ATM through business correspondent or bank mitra. So basically it is for financial inclusion, reaching out to the unbanked, underbanked segment of the society, so that even if they do not have the access to the branches, they can, through the business correspondent, using their Aadhaar authentication, they can transfer fund, they can make a deposit, anything. So what is needed is only a KYC compliant bank account in which Aadhaar has been linked without visiting the branch, simply online interoperable financial inclusion at point of sale terminals. So what are the services offered? We can withdraw cash, we can deposit cash, we can inquire about the balance in our account, we can make Aadhaar to Aadhaar fund transfer, we can also generate the mini statement. So these are the services offered by the AEPS. And the last topic, remittance, we have the Bharat Bill Payment System, BBPS, which is simply an integrated bill payment system in the country. Interoperable, accessible. So multiple payment modes are there, multiple billers are there. It is operated, conceptualized by RBI, driven by NPCI, one-stop payment system for all the bills that are to be paid, anytime, anywhere. All right, so there are different payment channels. I can pay the bills using internet banking, mobile banking, visiting the point of sale terminal, mobile wallets, ATMs, kiosk, bank branch through agents as well as business correspondent. Who are the participants? We have the Bharat Bill Payment BBP Central Unit. Central Unit is what? NPCI. All right, so all the transactions are authorized. Then we have the Bharat Bill Payment Operating Unit. Operating unit is the entity authorized by RBI, so it is a bank or a non-bank. They can integrate with either the customer or the biller or even both. Agent institutions are there, agents are there, and then we have the biller or the utility companies where the customers they have to pay the bill, the service providers, electricity, telecom, DTH, gas, water, all of these billers which are eligible to participate will be specified from time to time by RBI. All right. Over the period of time, other service providers will also be included. So that is all. With this, we have completed the unit 11, the remittance facilities that are available to the Indian customers to the through the electronic clearing system, centralized and decentralized. Now, if you want to study this chapter and the whole syllabus in detail and you want to qualify your exam, then you can join us in the JAIIB Super Elite all in one plan. So you will get access to all the courses, the foundation batches, the crash and cracker batches, capsule batches, everything. Here you will get live classes, mock tests, notes, and you will also get recorded sessions so that you can prepare 100% for your exam and you can guarantee that you will clear the exam in this very exam session. All right, so that is all from my side. Please, if you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your other fellow aspirants, subscribe to the Oliveboard JIB CIB English Medium channel because on a daily basis, we are bringing these important sessions for your revision and preparation. So make sure that you watch all of these sessions, all of these revision videos very carefully. Comment down below if you have any doubts or queries. So thank you so much. I will see you in the next session and all the very best.